Alright, welcome to the next episode in our YouTube series. If you've liked the YouTube series so far, please make sure that you give us a follow and like this video. It really helps out a lot. Today's going to be on why you crave junk food, especially when you're tired. So let's get straight into it. So picture this, like you finish the week, it's been really stressful, whether it's at work or whether it's the kids. And you get home and you're really tired, and suddenly you haven't prepared any food. And so what do? Usually you go towards the things that you crave, especially if it's convenient and it's quick. And most of the time it's things that are salty or things that give you a quick dopamine hit. So there is a little bit of science behind why you make these decisions, so I'll get into it. So when you're sleep deprived or you're mentally stressed, it affects your prefrontal cortex, which is pretty much the smart way of saying the part of your brain that makes decisions. It starts to shut down and there's actually less energy to work with. And at the same time, your brain's reward center is actually more active. It starts seeking things that's going to give it a quick dopamine hit. That's why at the end of the week, you'll go to things like maybe a beer if you're a guy, maybe a glass of wine if you're a woman, or you might want like sweet sugary snacks. Basically, these are all forms of like a quick dopamine hit. Nothing delivers dopamine quicker than some sugar, especially when it's combined with fat. Studies have shown that people that are sleep deprived or they're stressed, they usually consume roughly around 600 or more calories each day. That's because their brain is just chemically pushing them toward it. It's also why it's really hard to say no to late night snacking. Or if you've got some snacks inside the house, it's really easy to just grab them and just quickly mindlessly snack them anyway. Sometimes you'll be doing something simple like watching the TV, and if there's like a packet of chips next to you, you'll mindlessly just grab it, and all of a sudden you'll have a look and oh my gosh, like it's gone. And you haven't actually realized that you're the one that ate the whole packet. Okay, so there is a couple of hormone connections. We've mentioned these two hormones in previous videos. We have ghrelin and then we have leptin. This is what initiates the start of a meal, which is ghrelin, your hunger hormone. It's telling your brain, hey, we're really hungry. And then you have leptin, which is the fullness hormone that finishes off the meal and tells your brain, hey, we're full, we don't need any more food. So when you're sleep deprived or you're stressed, that ghrelin, that hunger hormone, it naturally spikes. And at the same time, the fullness hormone, leptin, it crashes. So you're hungrier, as well as that fullness signal, it gets weaker. On top of that, your cortisol is spiked when you're tired. Cortisol is the stress hormone. So your cortisol, your stress, will tell your brain, hey, we need to seek out food so we can give ourselves a bit of relief. Your brain thinks that it's under a threat, and it can't tell the difference between something like stress or sleep deprivation. So your ghrelin, your hunger, is up. Your leptin, which is the fullness signal, is down, as well as your cortisol, which is your stress, that's high as well. And so all of those things working together makes your decision making really shit. So the cravings aren't random, it's just your body and how it reacts to certain things. Your brain only knows survival, so it's doing what it needs to survive. However, if you've got a weight loss goal, then it's really good to understand these hormones in your body and why you do the things that you do. And when your brain is thinking like this, it's really easy to push yourself towards foods that will take you away from a fat loss goal. Usually it's the most calorie dense foods you can find, like chocolate or ice cream. Now, junk food is specifically designed to hit multiple reward pathways at once. Salt, sugar, and fat all together will create a response in the brain that natural foods just can't match. When your brain's control system is weakened by tiredness or stress, it goes for the strongest signal available, which is usually ultra-processed foods. That's why when you're stressed, you don't really crave things like broccoli or an apple. Your brain wants the fastest, most concentrated energy source that it can get. Okay, so what do I do about it? The most underrated fat loss tool is sleep. You need to be having roughly around 7 to 9 hours worth of sleep. This is where your body does that recovery. It just resets. If you know that you've had a bad week or a bad day, try and make sure that you're setting up your environment so that it makes the good choices easy. If you got snacks in the house, take them out. If you definitely need a snack, then make sure that you track it and still stay within your daily targets. Make sure that you're trying to control that hunger and that fullness hormone as much as possible. And the best way to do that is make sure that you're eating things that have high protein and high fiber in it. This will make you feel fuller for longer. Sometimes even just like a quick power nap, like a 20-minute nap, will help reduce cravings and improve your food decisions later on in the day. So when you find yourself exhausted, just understand how your brain is working and try and find different ways to combat the usual response that you would do. So firstly, set up your environment so that it makes the healthy choices easy. If the temptation is there, take it out. If people around you are tempting you in the wrong way, then let them know where you stand and where you're trying to work towards. They should be on board with you and they should help you. If they're taking you away from your goal, then maybe they're not the best people to have around, or you can just spend less time with them. If you definitely need something like a snack, then make sure that you track it. And also make sure that you have lots of protein and lots of fiber in your diet already. And don't forget about sleep. Okay, make sure that you're having the best quality sleep, and that all comes down to organization. Organize your week ahead before the week starts. else. If you haven't organized for the week ahead, then you've already lost the week. So you're not going to eliminate this habit straight away. The real question is, how do we set ourselves up so that it doesn't happen as often? And we're just trying to be a little bit better than where we were last week. That's going to be it for this one. Thank you for supporting this channel. Please make sure that you give this video a like, and we'll catch you guys in the next one.